All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kabbalah. Double honors to the apostles and elders, GMS, peace, blessing, mercy, and salutation to all the brotherhood out here on the streets, teaching and prophesying to the house of David, really, about who they really are. So we're just going to go to the topic of death. I got some scriptures pulled up on my phone. Type in the word death. Because a lot of people are dying, and a lot of people are gonna die. So, but first, can we get Deuteronomy 17 and 6? Because people in my family keep dying, like the older generation.
Oh yeah?
So they keep dying. I just had a dad die 2 days ago. So that's pretty, that's the spirit telling me a lot of people are going to die. Not just the old people, but everybody.
Yeah, because you gotta remember the hydras in the you know what I mean? So it's working itself in his body where it's gonna eventually.
Yep. And I'm wondering if all the older people that took it, their days are numbered. You know what I'm saying? Like this could be their last year.
Yeah. You said on your video too, the one you did earlier today, that your neighbor's she's ready to die, huh?
Yeah, she's old and she's like, man, I'm tired and I just fucking hate it.
Yeah.
That's what she says. And if you hate life, that means it's terrible. Life shouldn't be a great thing if you're an Israelite, because we're in Babylon. Right? Everything is celebrated that makes us sick to our stomach. Like we got Halloween coming up, that's straight up wickedness. A bunch of women and men and children gonna get dressed up like demons and stuff like that. Actually, like death. They're gonna observe death, and they're gonna think it's hilarious. So you got the
you said Deuteronomy 17 and 6.
Yes, sir.
Book of Deuteronomy 17 and 6. At the month of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death.
Alright, so right now we're witnesses and we're telling everybody that's passing by what's gonna happen. And then there's actually 2 witnesses here. We're waiting for the third. He that is worthy of death shall be put to death. So, like we were saying, if you took that vaccination, it's already been put out there that it's a self-replicating hydra. It's going to continue to split, divide like cells, like cancer. Cancer does that. It divides in cells, and then it's uncontrollable. So it's death, worthy of death. But at the mouth of 1 witness, he shall not be put to death. So Yahushua is our witness. He's witnessing the angels too. They're witnessing us coming out and preaching the prophet. So really, it's like this. So we're reading from the Bible, and we're telling you this is going to kill you. If you're homosexual, it's going to kill you. If you get the jab, it's going to kill you. But we're also telling you why. Because this is the law of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And all you have to do is follow his commandments, and you're good. The scriptures say that plenty of times. There's no getting away from it. Yeah. If you want to live a good life, follow the scriptures.
Because you get to the left or right.
Yeah, it's not really a choice.
It's not in between.
You got to make a choice. But at the mouth of 1 witness, you shall not be put to death. So if we're telling you that you'll take it, and then you listen, you're going to get saved. But the mouth of that 1 witness is Yahushua. This is the one that's straight up bad person. Let's go to 1 John 3 and 14. And I'm gonna give Numbers 35 and 31. Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. And that's talking about all in general, 2/3 and everything. But more so, we're gonna flip it on Esau. We're gonna flip this on Esau. We're gonna put this on you. And it says, moreover, you shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer. So what's going on in this Babylon right now? The murderer is the king of Babylon. You know that old serpent thing, the devil. Because everything he wants you to do is death. You should get that vaccination.
Yeah, because they celebrate this Halloween and say your kids go out there, get kidnapped by some crazy dude, but they're still allowing this shit. Because kids get kidnapped for sure on the night of Halloween.
Yes, sir.
It's, you know what I mean? It happens.
It happens.
So why they still, if kids are missing on that day of Halloween, why they're still promoting Halloween each year? And it's always from the chart that go missing more than the Edomites.
It's always these niggas.
Yep.
But you're right, you're absolutely right. How come they don't shut down Halloween if it's so dangerous?
Yeah.
Like, if the COVID is so dangerous, they're forcing a mandate to vaccinate.
And this little,
But the hypocrisy is out there so thick, it's like, you can't even slip on it because it's so fucking big and noticeable. You have to address it. See, there's hypocrisy right there. So the murderer, so if he's a murderer, he's also a liar.
yeah, definitely.
That's what he's doing. He's a murderer, he's a liar.
That takes you back to Cain. It's like it.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
That's exactly. See, you got it. I must be doing a good job. See, but that's how you're supposed to preach. Make everybody understand. That's why I like listening to you guys preach, my brothers preach, because if you're learning from me, and I have to learn from you, and not because that's the way it is, but because you're gonna capture something in that lesson that I might have missed.
So it's just,
Because it's a different kind of understanding from every brother's position.
yeah.
So let's get 1 John 3 and 14, now that we're on the subject of brothers.
3 and 14.
Yes, sir.
First book of John 3 and 14. We know that we have passed from death unto life, because we love the brethren. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
Once again, who's that talking about? It's talking about us in the truth, that we love the brotherhood. Also, it's poking at Esau. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death. And that's Cain in the reincarnation, Esau, the wicked. Tell me that doesn't make you think about Cain. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death. Right? And also you're supposed to love the brother.
Which is it's like a neighbor, his brother, right? So when because you know these Christians are so simple, because they be like, yeah, you're supposed to love your brother, your neighbor, but it's like, what if my neighbor was a murderer? Am I supposed to love him still?
Like, have you ever seen that movie, Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
So they're looking for Billy the Kid or something like that. He's a Wild Bill or something. He skins white ladies and takes their skin.
Oh, yeah, Buffalo Bill, right?
Yeah, Buffalo Bill. You
Yeah.
can live next to that guy.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to love him? No, because he's a murderer, right? You don't take no pleasure in the life of a murderer.
And they always like to say, but you know, no matter what he does, you're supposed to love. Like, it's like, no, because he's a murderer. So how am I supposed to?
Do white people love O.J. Simpson?
And what he did, and if ancient times would have, these times it's not righteous, but in those times it would have been righteous, because you gotta understand, his wife was messing with some other dude, so they had to go, which O.J. Simpson did the righteous thing, because he was messing with his girl.
That's right.
You know?
But O.J. Simpson is a bad guy in this situation.
Yeah.
Why? Because he has a different stance, and that's just the spirit of Jake in him. It's just when you go back to, let's say if you get scared, you go back to your primal instinct. So you get scared, a spider comes down and it scares you. Some people go, ah! And some people just getting their defensive.
Yeah.
Some people done when they just pop out and scare the hell out of people.
Yeah.
They show you what kind of person you are.
Yeah, it shows like the truth than we really are though.
Because what happens now that we're faced with death, we have to make the choice of where we're going to stand. We're going to stand with life, which is worshiping the truth of Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai, or are we going to worship death, which is the murderer's kingdom in Babylon?
And I got a precept
Go
for
ahead,
you,
go ahead,
about
bring it
the
up,
brother.
bring it
This is the first book of Thessalonians 2:9. For ye remember, brethren, our labor and travel for laboring night and day, because we will not be chargeable unto any of you. We preach unto you the gospel of Yahweh.
It's no one else's gospel but Yahweh. That's his word. And his word is his son. See, if you're into the scriptures, everything reminds you of the scriptures. Just like if you're a mechanic, everything reminds you of working on a car. Just like if you work in the field, everything reminds you of harvesting, of planting, of picking. Everything reminds you of what you do. So if you're a murderer, it's gonna slip and you're gonna be around people. Oh, yeah, I love to kill people. Or you're gonna make that some sort of assumption. So, we know, like it says in 1 John 3:14, we know that we have passed from death unto life. So we might not even see death. Some of the brothers might die because they're older, or such like that. Or even like Ainan, he was sick. But that's all ultimately judgment. Some brothers are going to pass it, some brothers are not. Some brothers are going to stay. Because we love the brethren. So, and really what happened was, when you die, you get to see, oh shit, I should have listened to this guy. He kept telling me, make those videos because he really loved me. And I didn't listen, I guess I didn't love him. Right?
Because, to be in that like situation, people like push you to want to do the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not locked down on that brother, but I mean, that you would want to, because you gotta think about it. Let's say it's your salvation. It's your salvation. Like, forgot what brother or apostle was saying there, like, I can't save this brother, I can't save this brother, that's just on him. You know what I mean? Like,
everybody's individual. Like, I can only tell you, don't do this, don't do that, because I know that's going to lead you to death if you continue on that way. So, and then it says right here, he that loveth not his brother abideth in death. So, murderers and thieves, and they all kick it together, right? You go to anywhere like that has it's called a black market or a red light district. The prostitutes all kick it with the prostitutes.
oh, you're talking about
Yeah.
Amsterdam? Yeah, go.
And the drug dealers kick it with the drug dealers, and then it's a different kind of society.
Yeah.
So, and guess what? You 2/3 decided to set Barabbas free, or Barnabas,
Okay.
instead of Yahushua. So you love death.
Yeah, it must, because them 2/3, what they do, just drink, get high, chase women, chase the bag. So we cut off from all that,
And they weren't down with Yahushua's message.
So they had to hear about this. They had to. They were.
Come on, man. They just don't want to hear it. It's evident. Because you made that video that how Jake doubts
Oh, on last week, yeah.
on last week's lesson.
Yeah.
You see, everything ties together. They just don't want to hear it. They doubt. Because, man, they're like, give you the hand or they wave you off. They just don't want to hear it. But the thing is, because they know that they're guilty.
Yeah. Kind of like when you see a fruitcake passing by, and, well, I can't say the word, but it's the F word, and they get all pissed, but in their heart, it hurts. I mean, in their spirit, they feel it, You say that shit too, because if someone walks by and calls me a fucking beaner and spick, I'm not going to get all, emotional about it. Call me all that shit, though. But in my spirit, I know I'm an Israelite. Respect, you know what I mean? Then that's why I'll get mad, but call me a beaner and spick, I don't care.
And that's the thing that makes you different. Makes that people different. Is they will tolerate disrespect of the spirit. People. I'm the one got mad at that about that one guy. One of our friends named Ray. He got mad at him. You know, that just tells you that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Can we get Philippians 2 and 8? And I'm going to read Deuteronomy 21 and 22. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be to be put to death, and thou hang him on the tree. So, come on, man. And then the scriptures tell you, he that is marked for death, leave him for death. You know, those that kill by the sword, kill by the sword.
And the other precept that says, let the dead bury their dead.
And that's what's happening all, and that's what's going to happen. Because these streets are going to be filled with dead. This year's going to be bad. Next, there ain't going to be no next year bad. As soon as we get into the January, everybody's going to start dying, dropping dead, because they're going to take that shot because they're scared. And if they're scared, they're already obedient. They're going to do what they fear.
Yeah. Because I was earlier with a friend though, and he told me he took it, but before, and I told him, hey man, just don't take them booster shots, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever they,
Help.
yeah, because, you know what I mean, because he was someone that's delicate in the flesh. So I told him, like, hey man, it's because he has stomach problems, and I told him, drink your teas and drink things, you know, your stomach, because then from there you can start getting hungry. But I told him, don't take them booster shots, man. Like, I mean,
That's the least you can do.
yeah. But if he's marked for death, then I can't do anything about it. Yeah.
But the thing we can do is just inform him, give him information.
Yeah. Because this was before I even knew that he took it. But I mean, if before he was thinking about it and he told me, I would have broke it down to him why not to take it. But this is.
But that's just the part of life that we have to understand. They're only the people that we're supposed to be in contact with will ask before or ask it at their appropriate time. Because everybody's on the lock, everybody's on what's it called, a leash. They're being told what to do. They get programmed at night like we get programmed at night.
Yeah.
And then they get asked the questions that they want to ask.
Yeah.
Job 38 and 17. Have the gates of death been opened unto thee? Or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? So the gates of death, that's when your ass is dead and then you're slipping into darkness. But it also says, or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? So you're seeing the shadow of death, but you're not quite dead.
Yeah.
And it's enough to scare you. So let's see.
We want to get Philippians 2 and 8.
Yes.
This is the book of Philippians 2 and 8. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and become obedient unto death, even the death of the cross.
So Yahushua came down. He was a man, and he was like, man, I gotta be obedient to this guy, and I have to die on the cross for my people. Give Matthew 1 and 21. Since I said that.
This is for the Christians.
Yeah, because he didn't die on the cross for everybody. Like we said earlier, how are you gonna love the murder? You gonna love Buffalo Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna die from Buffalo Bill?
No. So this is the book of Matthew 1 and 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name, which is Yahushua, for he shall save his people from their sins.
Wow.
It didn't say all.
Wow.
It said his.
And his is possessive.
Yep. It's a possessive word, yeah.
Who's that? His.
His.
Who's this people that are, so talented and they're great people, but they always fuck up? It's his people.
Can I get a precept?
Go ahead.
Since you're talking, about his people, so this is the book of book of Romans, because it's specific, it's not.
It's very specific.
So this is the book of Romans 9 and 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertain the adoption and the glory, and the covenant, and the giving of the law, and the service of Jehovah, and the promises.
That answers a lot of questions.
Can't get into detail than that.
That answers a lot of questions. Because the law was given to who? The Israelites. And we can break it down, the prophets. That said a whole bunch. Read it again, please. That's a good one.
Again?
Yeah.
Romans 9 and 4, and I'll continue to 5 2. Who are Israelites to whom pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenant of the giving of the law?
Well,
And the service.
Hold on right there. Who are the Israelites that are going to get adopted?
Yeah.
Even if you want to be a wishful person and say you're a Gentile, you're going to get saved. Those Gentiles are Israelites. But they just don't know that they're Israelites.
Going back to the books of Acts 2 and 5. It's a lot of it.
Go ahead, finish that.
And the service of Yahweh and the promises.
Even the service of Yahweh, you mean nobody else can serve Yahweh except an Israelite? Man, you know what? I feel so lucky.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Because I have the best job, even though I bust my ass at work Monday through Friday, doing the shit I gotta do for 8 hours a day. It's not my real job. That job just pays for this job.
Yeah.
That's something I gotta do. This is something I want to do, which is totally different than something that you gotta do.
Yeah, so there's a difference right there.
So that's how these people feel about the mandated fast. They're like, I have to do this. But they don't know that deep in their heart, they have to do it because they love Satan.
Yeah.
We don't want to take it because in our hearts, we love Yahweh and Yahweh and His Word and the Holy Spirit and the brethren. You know, we love good things.
Gotta show examples.
Yes. This is Revelation 20 and 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So now there was the Noah's Ark. There was a great flood and there was water. Now this is talking about death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. Well, what's the lake of fire? Christians would be like, oh, it's over there by Lake Kauai, you know, or Death Valley, or something crazy. They'll be like, there's a portal here on Earth. No, the Lake of Fire is Babylon, coast to coast. It's Babylon, because that's where the missiles are going to hit. All these missiles are going to come over here, boom, 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 and the lasers are going to take place. That's going to be some hot fire.
Oh, because there's that really sport, like next one, like a laser, like
Concentrated fire, like
kind of like the movie The World, right?
oh, that was popping.
Kind of like little example right there, huh?
Pop. The light hit you and you pop.
Yeah. That's just the heat. Imagine the heat turns the body to that.
So at work, we were messing around. There was a black widow with a big giant one, and I lit it up with a torch. And the fire, the heat from the fire, the flame didn't touch it. Or it touched it, and it went like this, and it was dying. So it was hot, right?
Yeah.
And then my coworker was like, toasted it up. And I was like, damn.
Imagine like,
That's gonna be folks on this day.
yeah.
On his day. Man, imagine that.
So it's gonna be like what's that movie Terminator 2, the Judgment Day, when she was holding against the fence and just
You're gonna try to hold on because you're gonna get blown away. The heat from the fire was blowing that spider away, but it was leaning back, and then the intensity of the fire totally caught it all on fire. It didn't even catch one part first. It was like all of it on fire.
yeah.
So it's gonna be super hot fire, like boom.
That's just an example of what's gonna happen though.
And we're gonna have parties in the kingdom, and we're gonna watch that in a carriage hologram projection. And see, look at this nigga got toasted.
Yeah.
Every Shabbat, before the night, we're just gonna watch it. Like, man, look at this crazy. Imagine having the freedom to just do something like that. Look at this guy. You know, like burning up.
But then you say you saw the San Francisco
Oh, yeah.
fire. What'd you say you saw
The
it on
Golden
fire?
Gate Bridge on its fucking side.
Yeah.
It was all twisted up.
You're gonna see things like that, you know.
That's hot fire, man. That's hot fire.
But see, that's the Christian give you a different doctrine, you know. But it's hard to believe that, you know what I mean? Like even if it's like you're not someone in the truth, it's hard to believe that what they're talking about is believable, you know. That's why people fall out of their churches though, because they can't even break things down, you know.
No. So let's go to Matthew 10 and 21, and then start wrapping it up.
10 and 21.
Yeah.
This is the book of Matthew 10 and 21. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child. And the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to put to death.
See, all that crazy stuff is gonna happen. So that's gonna be like, oh man, they're over there. These people didn't take the backs. Oh man, they didn't even keep the heart, you know. A lot of snitching gonna be going on.
Yeah.
We're gonna be turning, and then people and families fight right now over the vaccine.
Yeah.
Forget about it. They fight over what the fuck they're gonna have for dinner. Or what channel to watch. Or
Because they didn't get enough time on their tablet.
That's some crazy stuff, man. See, and the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. So all those prophecies are going to come to happen. You know, that's just the way it is. It's sad. Well, you did Hosea 13 and 14?
14 and
13 and 14, Hosea 13. Oh, I got it anyway, I'll read it.
Okay.
So this will be my closing one. Hosea 13 and 14. I will ransom them from the power of the grave. I will redeem them from death. O death, I will be thy plagues. O grave, I will be thy destruction. Repentance shall be hid from my eyes. So that's Yahweh saying that. That's the order of Yahweh. And death is going to get basically put in a submission. Because nobody's going to, he's going to take the power. I will ransom thee, so who's thee? We just read about those people. So we're going to get saved from all these things. We're going to get saved from the power of death. And then he's going to be, we're going to be the plagues, the death's plague, which is Esau. We're going to be your plagues. And then your house said, I will be thy destruction. Repentance shall be hid from mine eyes. So you ain't going to be able to repent. You know, so that was just my lesson. Hope that was edifying. Brother, you come up here and give your lesson.
You know, that's weird too, because like you talked about death though, so my lesson's about something that you said last week. If you accepted the fact that you have to meet your family in the kingdom.
Oh yeah.
He said, I remember he said that last week. He said that it has to come to it, though you probably have to meet your family in the kingdom. So this brother talked about death, and this what. So right now, you know, times are getting closer though, and the thing is that brothers might say like, yeah, you know, down, you know, things happening and I'm there, but when it actually does come down to it, are you actually going to be down? You know, so that's the realization though. You know, you might say like, kind of like when someone's going to fight a fight with someone, and then they see the other guy's bigger, they're like, oh shit, never mind. So don't be that brother, man, that says like, yeah, I'm down, because we don't know, man.
Yeah.
You don't know until the time comes, like, if we actually are going to be. We just pray upon that we won't have the spirit in us in order to go through all these trials and tribulations. Because I was talking to the brother, I was like, man, I see Jacob troubles coming around the corner. Yeah. I see that coming around the corner.
It's
So,
gonna be real bad.
yeah. And they think this vaccination is bad. Wait till the FEMA camps and.
Wait till fucking people are killing each other for food,
Yeah.
a gallon of gas. They're gonna be boxing each other for toilet paper.
Yeah. Which happened last year when this whole thing happened. People were fighting over toilet paper, like literally getting into some physical altercation. So imagine that food for food. People are gonna be killing each other.
Hell yeah.
Need that.
Because just imagine if you need to wipe your ass when you do that, what about the need to eat?
Yeah. And then they got kids.
Oh man.
They're gonna all gotta do.
Little Jimmy's crying with his fucking head off. I'm hungry, you're the worst dad ever.
yeah. Or I'll go blow some guy's head off for your earbill. You know, it's gonna get shit like that, man. So that's my lesson today. Like, you know, you have to accept the fact that you're probably gonna have to meet your family in the kingdom. This brother said last week. So, because you gotta understand, this ain't our kingdom right here. This ain't our kingdom right here, you know. And You get the book of Proverbs 29. Because this is Esau's kingdom right here. And because we're all born, you know, we're not happy right here. Especially the people right here on the chart, we're all oppressed by Esau though. So therefore, like we all born, we're not happy though because we want this shit. Well, we want Esau's kingdom to go down. So you get
Yeah, this is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
exactly. How many people right here are mourning? Because then you got to think about the northern kingdom though. The northern kingdom that they're over there, they've been oppressed. They've been oppressed and been going through trials and tribulations though. But even people that are not even the truth, they're still they're going through their trials and tribulations though. And that goes to show who's really the kingdom on this earth.
And the only difference between people that are going through problems and are not Israelites, they don't know why they're going through problems.
Yeah.
Like an Israelite, but we know why we're going through problems. We've been fucking up.
Yeah. And then you got to think about, you know, it's scary. This is things that are scary. Brother losing the Holy Spirit, that's scary. And then what's scary too is you don't know what we did in your prior life. Because we don't know what we did in our prior life.
You just gotta be repentful every day.
Yeah. You got to think, you know, that you woke up to another breath in your body. You got to pray upon that. You got to be thankful because
That's scary, bro.
yeah. Because you don't know what you did in your prior life. Who knows? You know, we know about this life. You know what I mean? Which
You're aware of it.
yeah, but prior life, we don't even know what we did. So that's the thing, man. So we gotta make sure that we're doing the righteous thing, though, because who knows? You know, maybe a chariot might save you and your family, but look at Job's another example. He lost everything, but he got everything back because even his wife tried to tell him like, hey, you're not gonna, you know, like, but the thing, but he lost it. And Job called his wife a foolish woman, you know?
You know, he said something bad too.
Yeah.
Whatever was bad to say at that time.
Yeah, because he called her a foolish woman. So, you know, so that's the thing. You gotta show integrity. Because, you know, Job had a lot of integrity. And we just in those times right now where we gotta show our, you know, Book of James 2, but we gotta have faith, but you also gotta do the work still because, you know, and I'm thankful too that I came into the truth, you know, the right time. I'm into the truth the right time because there's a whole lot of building up. I mean, I still got a whole lot to build up, but I'm in the truth though, so that's what matters. So as long as God